one thing was for sure. They both believed Sparks to be a total tool.
Be an exciting contest which shows that divorced couples can still have fun together, right?
Mythological hero H-list. C. On the spot dice spin.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
In the early to mid 1990s, the Family Channel did what USA did and went all in on game shows. Both classic reruns of shows. Family Channel had great reruns of the all-new Let's Make a Deal, the Jim Lang version of Name That Tune, Face the Music, among countless others. As for the originals, though, they were a real mixed bag. You had some good ones, but then you had some outright crap. Now, we talked about the Wink Martindale interactive games like Trivial Pursuit, Jumble, Boggle, Shuffle. While Trivial Pursuit was good, the other three of them are unwatchable dreck that you could barely tell apart. So, in honor of that induction that we did a couple of years ago, the story arc for this year is the worst of the Family Channel. And this year, we'll be showing you no less than 3 shining examples of how bad they really got. The first one holds the award for the worst premise. You give parents situations or dilemmas about a child going through the pains of life. And they have to answer the questions, not from their own perspectives, but from the perspective of a legitimate child psychologist. It's time to talk about Wait Till You Have Kids.
That's just some of what you hear when you're a parent. And if you don't believe us,
wait till you have kids.
And today on Wait Till You Have Kids, our couples are...
Where do we even begin with this one? Wait Till You Have Kids premiered on September 30th, 1996. That day was big for Family Channel as it debuted 4 game shows that day. Those, of course, being Shopping Spree, The New Shop Till You Drop, Future Game Show Garbage Induction Small Talk, and this show. Hosted by comedian Tom Parks, couples must guess the answers to certain situations that be given to them by a professional child psychologist. In theory, this could be an interesting show. I mean, getting to know a child's psyche would be a boon for any parent. However, the flaws for this show are pronounced and many. This is one of those shows where you just sit there stupefied about what the heck was going on. Whether it be the format, the scoring, or even the advice given by the professional child psychologist. I say professional child psychologist like that because the first 40 episodes had a really big problem on their hands. Before going on about anything else, I must say this about the set. It's one of the worst I've ever seen in my life. Look, I know it's supposed to be based off of a child's drawing, much like the logo and the artwork that's on the monitor, but there's a difference between a logo and a complete eyesore of a set. I also have to think that the hardbacks on the faux sofas would be more problematic than anything else. I don't harp on a theme much, but this theme sounds like it would be more better off for a show like Small Talk or Shopping Spree. You know, something more light-hearted than something like this. It may go well with the set, but it feels out of place. So with that little tip out of the way, let's meet Tom Parks.
And now, let's meet the host of Wait Till You Have Kids, Tom Parks.
Welcome to Wait Till You Have Kids.
Tom Parks is the host, and I honestly don't know what to think of him. Part of me likes him, yet part of me thinks that his talent was wasted here. He was hilarious on Not Necessarily the News, and is a funny comedian in his own right. I think he could have been a good host here, given the leeway and the material to work with. But thanks to really poor execution of the show, he's almost given zero time to be himself and be funny at the same time. He is joined by the first set of episodes by the expert du jour, Ellen Winters. She is presented as being in the child psychology field for 15 years. She looks the part, but therein lies the show's first big problem. Her. While dispensing her advice, viewers called in and wrote to the Family Channel saying that her answers to the dilemmas weren't in line with the network's and the country's beliefs at the time. I should make note that the Family Channel was quite the conservative channel. All the family-friendly shows that you'd ever want to see were on there. Also on there was Pat Robertson's 700 Club. You know him. The guy who said in 2011 that the people of Haiti deserve their hurricane and destruction because they forsake God. Yeah, that despicable human being. Anyways, the producers and the network looked into her credentials after all the complaints. After finding out that she pulled a Robert Irvine and falsified her credentials, they fired Ellen Winters because of this and halted production after 40 episodes and took a month-long hiatus. This revelation essentially killed off any chance the show had of surviving after 65 episodes. Man, we haven't even talked about the last 25 episodes. We haven't even talked about the gameplay, and yet this seems ready-made for this site. Well, let's just get the other 25 episodes over with. I'm not sure anything good happened on them either. Well, the show went into reruns and then came back in the beginning in '97. When it came back, the show looked a lot different. For example, instead of the hideous set, the show looks beautiful. It feels like a nice-looking home, complete with early 90s love seats and faux windows that makes you feel like at home instead of in a kid's drawing. Also, they have a new theme that fits in more of what the show is. A show about families, and this is a family-friendly theme. With Ellen Winters shamed out the door for being a fraud, the producers did some actual background checking and actually got someone who knows what they're doing. Marilyn Kagan. Marilyn Kagan is licensed, been doing it for 16 years, and a keeper was having her own TV show before doing this one, so she held up to scrutiny before. Another thing is that she wasn't up her own ass as Ellen Winters was. She was quite personable and had chemistry with Tom Parks. It actually felt like the show was actually putting effort into the stuff around it. So yeah, the show improved on that front, but it was too little too late because they never saved the one other big thing this show has. The horrific gameplay. Now it's time to talk about the game. 3 couples are asked Glum about, oh wait, we first gotta watch a funny video about a kid discussing family life, like you'd have seen on Kids Say the Darndest Things. 99 times out of 100, these videos don't have anything to do with the upcoming dilemma. For me, these videos felt like they're out of place and leaves the show confused. It's like they want to try to incorporate these videos to the show, but instead of tying the videos to the dilemmas most of the time, they just left them as standalone. It's nothing more than padding, makes it feel like a gimmick to get people to watch. After the video, we get the dilemma about child development and 3 possible solutions to the dilemma. Each parent says what they would do, and if they agree, they put up the block pertaining to their selected answer. If they don't agree, then the one with final say gets to make the decision, sometimes leading to arguments.
They're not skis.
My children are lucky enough to have not only grandparents, but great-grandparents. But I'm also very fortunate that my in-laws are over all the time. We live in the same town, and my kids are very close with them, and they don't give them a chance whether to stand off because they're there all the time. So, C, don't interfere. Your parents will take care of it. It's okay.
Excuse me. Your mother comes and stays with us?
My mother comes once a year.
And stays with us for 2 weeks?
My mom, don't talk about my mom.
I love your mother. I love your mother.
Thank you.
I love your mother. I'm going to answer C.
Don't interfere.
Don't interfere.
Yeah, and I actually think we've come up with another game show there.
After all 3 teams make their decisions, the expert gives the answer they think is best. If they match, then they get the points. The first 3 dilemmas are worth 1, 2, and 3 points respectively. The 4th and final dilemma has the contestants make their own decisions, with the correct answer being worth 4 points. Team with the most points wins the prize package and then plays the bonus game. It's alright, but the game does drag on for a couple of reasons. Firstly, those video clips add nothing to the proceedings except for a cheap laugh or 2. Secondly, 4 long-form dilemmas doesn't make for an exciting game or a more intriguing game, especially with that janky scoring system where the last question is the equivalent of the golden snitch from Harry Potter. Basically, a team could go El Skunko in the beginning and then both partners select the right answer for the 4th dilemma, get 8 points, and conceivably win the game. The scoring system is broken. I personally like to see an opening round based on the tiebreaker where the couples are given a small situation such as your 10-year-old son likes playing with Ken dolls, and pick whether that's okay or a problem according to the expert. Play 4 of those in the first round for a point apiece, with the men and women alternating decisions, and that would add some variety to the proceedings and balance out the scoring system. The bonus round is made up of these small situations that I made up earlier. The team has 60 seconds to correctly identify 7 situations as okay or a problem. If they do that, then they win the grand prize, which can be anything from a trip plus $1,000 in cash to a brand new car. It's something that I've learned over the years, and that's games with the most broken front games sometimes get genuinely exciting end games. Bullseye springs to mind immediately here. While it was derivative of Joker in many more ways than one, it was still a thrill to see someone go the distance, and that applies here in the end game. But like most game show garbage shows, the show isn't forgiven for having a good end game while having a dreary front game, among other issues that made the show induction worthy. With all the problems the show had thanks to the Ellen Winters debacle, Wait Till You Have Kids was unceremoniously dumped after its 65-episode contract ran out on January 31st, 1997. Makes me wonder why they didn't just go with Marilyn Kagan at the start. Just seems super short-sighted to me. I also hate that most shows don't do basic background checks on their staff and contestants. If they did that, then a lot of problems from shows would be alleviated. But instead, they just rush shows out without any planning or care, and thus they get derailed. The show could have been decent, but it's the production company rushing something without proper checking that kills it. Well, that does it for me, and you thought this was a turkey? Oh, the last induction of 2018 is a real turkey. I'm just going to say it right now. I should have done this 10 years ago, but we're doing it now. The Riddlers pilot with David Letterman as host. The ultimate in unsold pilot turkeys. Well, until something else that's worse comes along. I mean, we haven't seen the Card Sharks pilot from 97, MG2 from 1996, the Sale of the Century pilot of Rob... Anyway, bye-bye!